but seeing them go from being completely dependent on a parent to now he's almost 18 years old and he's figuring life out for himself. To me, that's like the greatest reward, is to know that I pour everything I can into my kids. And the only repayment that I'm gonna get is just the knowledge of knowing that I've given them everything I possibly can. And so hopefully society is gonna be a better place because of the children that I put into the world. So I feel like for me, that's one of the greatest gifts of being a parent, is knowing that I've contributed good humans to this world.
Welcome to another edition of Be Great Podcast, where we're always speaking to phenomenal people who are doing great things. Today I have two special guests, a father-son combo. And so today I wanted to introduce my guy, CEO Josh.
What's up, what's up?
All right, and his son, tell me your name again, sir? Andrew, we're definitely going to just have a great discussion, father, son, and just let them pretty much tell their story. If you don't mind, Josh, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit to the people.
Yeah, so what's up, everybody? I go by the name of CEO Josh Earl, and I'm the number one choice for entrepreneurs needing to get access to high limit business credit to start, grow, and scale their businesses. So that's me, that's what I do, and this is my son, Andrew.
What's up, you guys? My name is Andrew. I'm an aspiring actor based off in Atlanta here, and I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to have y'all, man. I was going to say, man, I think I met y'all about a year or so now. And we met at an event, and I think I was talking to you. Yeah, about 2 years. And I was talking to you. I was admiring you. You've been a well-poised young man, and really was in a room of different business owners. I was like, wow, what you up to? It very inspired me. I was like, man, he in the right spot. But I realized it was your father who introduced you and exposing you to this great scenery. And so, man, I just want to thank you again, bro. Like I said, I think highly of you. You're one of the leaders, a part of the group that we're part of, man. So just wanted to kind of actually a little bit about yourself, man.
Absolutely.
How did you actually get into the space of business? What kind of woke you up in that space, man?
Man, that's a great question. So initially what happened was I was the manager for Walmart.
Okay.
And I got fired. Mm-hmm. And then, I have a son. Actually, I have 3 children. Okay. And I have a wife, too. So getting fired, they fired me because they said I stole a bottle of water. It just was really more of an issue between me and my supervisor.
Wow.
And eventually they tried to hire me back when they realized that I didn't steal, but the damage was already done, right? And so I was at a place where I no longer wanted to depend on another person or company dictating whether or not I can provide for my family. So, and he'll tell you, dude, I was like every morning, 5 in the morning, from 5 in the morning to maybe 12, 1 in the morning, I would be sitting at the computer trying to learn and understand business. And I did that, and then I would go and wake them up for school, and then just go back and just repeat that whole process. I probably slept 2 or 3 hours a day trying to learn about business, learn about credit, learn about drop shipping, like all these different things. And so, I just didn't want to rely on another company or individual letting me take care of my family or not letting me take care of my family. Wow. So I decided to take things into my own hands.
That's awesome, man. What we don't know is I work for Walmart as well.
Oh, really?
I put 16 years in.
Wow. You work there now or you used to?
No, I did. I let them go.
Yeah, absolutely.
About 5 years ago.
That's good.
But I was working asset protection.
Really? That's dope,
I did that for 16 years, man.
And I wonder if have you ever gone to like any places like outside of that state?
Well, not so much outside of the state, but I buy asset protection. We sometimes go in our region to different stores. But man, wow, that's. But one thing I can truly say, my experience from Walmart, you get to see business on a larger scale.
Absolutely.
So it really opened me up. Business is not black or white; it's green.
Absolutely.
But also, one thing I can say I took away from it is that change will happen.
100%. And I learned a whole lot in that environment, man. And I think a lot of people who have an interest in business, if they already have a job, they need to be looking at what can they take away from that job and implement into their own business and figure out how they can grow something for themselves.
Yes.
Because if a company's paying you, like I was making $60,000 a year, I was a co-manager making like closer to 70. But if they're paying me $70,000 a year, how much do you think I'm making for them? You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of those same processes and those SOPs and all those things that we did there, same things that I used to implement into my business and also my clients' businesses too, and that's why they grow so much.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, that's amazing, man. Well, I want to just kind of ask your son a little bit about it. From seeing him with your father, I'm pretty sure you've seen him always working and things like that. How was that for you as a young child? I know at Walmart, you especially being a co-manager, you got to tell me, I know what kind of hours you were working.
Crazy work, bro.
So how was that for you? Was you missing him, or were you wanting to be at some of your games? And how was that affecting you from watching that?
Right. So growing up, I didn't really play a lot of sports.
Okay.
But he was at work a lot. So I remember just coming home from school. He wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when, I don't remember when you were working overnight.
Yes.
When he was working overnight, it's like, it was even worse.
Yeah.
I would only see, like, when he was working during the day, I could see him at night. You know what I'm saying? If I stay up a little bit, he'll come home, I could say something to him and say goodnight, go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was working overnight, it was just like, I come home from school, he sleep, and you can't wake him up because that's the only time that he gets to sleep. But one thing I do, like, if you woke him up, he'll still talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't just, like, get out or nothing.
Yeah.
But just those times, it was just, he was always working. And I remember when he left Walmart, like, most people, when they get fired from a job, they kind of stop working. Or they try to find another job. But when he left his job, he even worked harder, which is something I always, like, admired. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that just every night, he was on the computer every night.
Wow.
Every night. He'd wake me up for school. I'd get dressed. I say, all right, bye, Dad, have a good day at school. When he say that, he at the computer. Like, all right, have a good day at school. He's at the computer. I come home from school. He opens the door. Hey, how was school? It was good. What was good about it?
Yeah.
I belong. X, Y, and Z. He goes back to the computer.
Wow.
He was just always working. So that's how it was. Just working. He always made time for us though.
That's good.
Always.
That's good, man. But I do want to kind of dip in there because some people, when they have a setback, like losing something that you know you worked hard, I know you probably put your time in, and to lose something, did you go through a time of depression and other things that was kind of a mental fatigue or anything like that? What were you in during that time? What was kind of the state you were in?
Yeah, so, the great philosopher 50 Cent said, he said, depression is a luxury that most people don't have. Because to your point, when you're depressed, a lot of people, they mope around because it cripples you. You can't really do anything. And I'll say, I'll say that I experienced a time of like anger, frustration, confusion, and just really like determination. And the reason is because, again, it's my family. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel as though I had the time to mope and wallow in my sorrows and my pities. I was upset because I was falsely accused of something, and I had all the documentation to prove it, but no one would listen. Literally, bro, I went through every avenue possible to prove that I was innocent, but they wouldn't listen. And so I just took that as a sign that my time in this environment was just up. And so when I left, it wasn't so much as me being depressed about the job. It was more so my thought process is, how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to make sure that my family is okay? You know what I'm saying? As a father, that's the biggest concern that I have. You know what I'm saying? Especially sacrificing so much for so many years. And it's like, dang, like now what I'm going to do? You know what I'm saying? That's why I no longer wanted to give that power to anybody, bro. Yeah.
Well, if you can, let's elaborate a little bit about the comeback. What was it? Did you lose anything? Because I went through a time when I went through a bankruptcy in 2009, and I lost some things, but through that loss, it freed me up to be able to make some shifts and maybe put me in a different place that, even though it seemed like it was a bad thing, but it was a good thing that came through that. So what was it for you? How did your journey through that time, now you don't have this income coming in, and you still got mouths to feed, you got to really do something. So what was that time for you?
Man, that's a great question. So what's crazy, man, is I never really lost anything. I struggled to pay rent. Like he never knew, obviously, right? But I struggled to pay rent, and I struggled to pay a lot of bills. So I would like pay stuff late. Credit got jacked up. And, the reason why that was so I started doing Toro, and I didn't understand business. I didn't understand business credit. And so because of that, I got in like hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt, bro. And so, here's the beauty of that. To this day, like my company, we do things in business structuring, business credit, personal credit as well. We've helped over 50,000 people. The reason is because everything I experienced after losing my job at Walmart, the debt, the not being able to pay my bills, like understanding credit, all that stuff came because I lost my job.
Okay.
So even though I lost like money, I lost like all these different financial opportunities, at the end of the day, it's the reason why I'm so successful now.
Wow.
Because I had to learn about credit to fix my own credit.
Okay.
And then I had to learn about business credit because I started to understand the business structure process.
Okay.
And so those things are the very things that I use as a service. So it's like I turn my pain into pleasure.
Yeah.
And well, to my pain and turn it into profit. You know what I mean? So even though I lost a lot financially as far as money is concerned, I've gained that and some. We did over $1 million last year in business.
Wow.
So I would have never done that working at Walmart. You know what I mean? So everything that I did lost, it was really just an opportunity for me to learn and then package it and sell it and help other people. So
man, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. And so if you can, from your standpoint, some of the things that it's so valuable to have it's one thing to have a father in the house. I can tell a little bit of my story. I grew up in Charlotte in one of the projects there. And during my early years, my father was wino. Let me get some money. It won't be that long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
So it's one thing to see your dad being a third child in the house, but to have a dad who you see as being an example that you can follow, how was that, even though you see him go through his growth through, what's some things that you was watching and how did it affect some of the decisions you made and even to craft you to be the young man you are today? What's some of at least one thing that you say that you see from your dad, how it shaped you?
One thing I could say that I've seen for sure. One thing I could say is when we was going through that predicament, like I didn't even know at all. Like he didn't show it. He didn't. Like it was never said. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I didn't even know until like years later.
Okay.
So, but just seeing him working hard every morning was just like, and then for me to be like upstairs sometimes, sleeping, you know what I'm saying? Just sleeping my life away. Like it made me feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Like my dad working hard, my mom working hard, and I'm just sleeping. Like it really pushed me to like, you know, try to work harder. And in everything that I do in life, whether it be schoolwork, work in general, it's just hard work, really just hard work. Something I can say I learned from him. Good work ethic, I learned from him, and having a really strong integrity, something I also learned from him. That's something that he always tried to implement in me. Just really just have a good work ethic, have good integrity. So that's some things I can say that I learned from him.
That's awesome, man. I want to also say with you about, I know you shared with you that you're acting.
Yes,
How did that come about? How did you come about getting into the acting?
I remember just always watching shows and TV, movies and shows. And I remember just like, I always just pictured myself like that person in that role. So I would always try to maybe reenact the scene sometimes. And I never knew I wanted to act. I would just reenact the scenes until I realized that that's a job, like that's actually a job. So I was like, man, if I love this so much, why wouldn't I like, you know, make it a career, make it a job? And so I remember I always just studied it. I always used to watch a lot of shows and movies just to see the actors. And I just really fell in love with it, just a lot. So I could say that's what inspired me.
Did you take drama in school and things like that?
I actually did take a theater class in high school, my 9th grade year, and one thing I regret is that they were having a play, and I tried out for it, but I didn't get the role. But I was just glad I tried out for it.
Think about some of the greats. You think about Jordan. You got Kev one was the 9th, 10th, whatever. He was early on, but that right there was the key to being him to be the greatest he is now. I think if he didn't get that cut, he probably wouldn't have. It's a difference between getting cut and being stabbed.
Right.
You know, they had to cut you in order to do surgery, right?
That's a fact.
In order to make you better. So sometimes that cut can make you better, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's the thing that you now realize, hey, use that as fuel to help you move forward to that next space that you're moving into.
Yes, sir.
And so, man, well, I'm very, very pleased to know that you are still in the game. You didn't allow that to take you from acting, but you allowed that to motivate you to continue finding those next lanes. And so now you're still in school now, right?
Yes, sir. I'm homeschooled right now.
Okay.
Yes,
Awesome.
sir. This is my last year.
Okay. I've never experienced homeschool, but how's homeschooling for you? How's that work?
Homeschool is just really boring.
I can imagine you got to think about your opinion, so
I really, really don't like it. But I didn't really have much of a choice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, homeschool is just.
Okay. It's a different experience. I can only imagine. And let me ask you then, why did you so choose to have your son? Is all your children homeschooled?
No, so he is. He just wasn't really doing what he should have been doing at school.
Okay.
Which is somewhat normal, right? Yeah. Like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing at school either. But it was more so of a decision that my wife made because she felt like she felt like it would be better for him to be able to be home. Mm-hmm. And then she could be the one to kind of like help, like make sure that he's getting all the stuff done. Mm-hmm. So initially it was like a plan to just make it better for him. Mm-hmm. But, it's obviously something that he doesn't like, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't like it either. You know what I mean? You're not able to be around your peers. And so it really was just utilized as a way to give him the attention that, he needed to be able to thrive more.
Have you seen the benefits of the difference since he's been homeschooled?
Yeah, I'll say it's not even really, I'm gonna be real, I don't care a whole lot about school. And that sounds crazy to some people. I care about the effort. Mm-hmm. So, if he bring home C's and D's and I know that he put effort in, mm-hmm. bro, I'm as proud of him as if he brought home A's and B's. Yeah. Because that's just how I view school. So the changes that I've seen in Andrew, I wouldn't even really mention them being academic wise, but I'll say it's more of a growth on a different level. For example, the kid that you see here today, he's not the same kid that he was before he started going to homeschool. Mm-hmm. Because now he's doing things like going to Podcast Summit. Wow. He's going into these different areas and he's working on himself as a person. Wow. To give you an example, he used to be really shy. Okay. We were at a Podcast Summit and I'm in Miami and my concern for him was like, I'm gonna have to like make sure that he's like okay, he's not like nervous. And bro, I was sitting down in one of the rooms and I was like, let me go to the bathroom. He was just walking around. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget it. I get up to go to the bathroom and I'm walking and I just see a crowd of people. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what is this crowd doing? And this kid is over in the middle of the crowd, just talking to people. Wow. And the feeling that I felt, I was just so proud of him because it's like, again, for me, I don't care about grades. You know what I mean? I care about effort. So the biggest change I've seen in him is not even something that's academic. It's just in the personal development that I've seen him doing, like reading books now. Like, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Just seeing him work on his character and his self as a person, things that he's going to use outside of high school. Like, that's the thing that I've seen in him that's been the biggest change. You know what I mean? So, which to me is what matters the most.
Wow. I want to stay there for a second. You said something. I was in the workshop and I was sitting beside Cisco. And guess what book I was telling him I wish I would have read many years ago. I heard about when I used to be in prepaid legal services years ago. My sponsor told me to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. And I did this probably 15, 20 years later. Finally got to the book. And I'm like, man, it's one of the books you should have been on. Yeah. So I'm going to keep myself about that. But man, knowing that you read that book, what's one of your takeaways? That's one of my go-to right there.
Yes, sir. Well, I haven't finished it all the way. But what I can say that I learned from the book is just one thing I always remember is to smile. Like when you first greet people, when I usually greet people, like I always like keep my head down a little bit, like keep a straight face. But then like when you do that, when you greet people like that, they kind of sometimes reciprocate the same thing. Either that or the conversation wouldn't be as valuable if you come and greet them with a smile and more enthusiasm. That's one thing I can really remember from it. Just smiling and be more intrigued in their interests. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yeah.
Because when you talk to people, you can always just talk about you, what I did. You know what I'm saying? What I accomplished. Yeah. But when you sit there and try to listen, what have you accomplished? What have you done? It really makes the conversation last longer.
Yeah, I was laughing in the book though when he was talking about, I guess, the lawyer And his aunt was saying he was like, that guy's good conversations with that person. What it did was, it just allow you to talk about your interests. And so one of my things was, and that's one of my cheat codes too, so I'll let you know. So when I know when I was like, I've been meaning to say, how's your son doing? That's your interest. I'm like, next time I talk to Josh, I'm gonna make sure I ask that.
And you did. You remember that.
Yeah, I did it today. So I was like, yo, I know that touches your heart. So I'm like, yo, and what you want to always do, you want to make yourself not be forgettable.
Yep. And I've never forgot you. From the day we met you, I've never forgot you. And I think maybe because I saw you showed an interest into my son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's something I've never forgot. And that's why even when we saw you in Miami, I was genuinely excited to see you. And I was more excited because I had him with me.
Same. You're actually the first person I ever remembered, because my first podcast was the one in the summer. Mm-hmm. Not this summer that we went to Miami, but it was another one before. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Max and Mom. And I remember you're the first person I remember because you took interest in my acting. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like, you just took a lot of interest in it. And then not only did you take interest, but you tried to help me.
Exactly.
Help me.
Which
I remember. So when I saw you in Miami, I was happy. And now when I go to sometimes with the stuff with the podcast, I always expect to see you. Or I wonder if I don't remember your name, which is wrong.
That's all love. That's all love.
I was trying to remember. I was wondering, I wonder if I'm going to see you and this stuff.
That's what's up, man. So take that cheat code. I learned that from great people. That it's about you giving. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that I'm big on. I say I would never be broke. Absolutely. Why? Because I understand seed, time, and harvest. Yep. And it's always about what can you give more than can you receive.
Yep.
And so I don't know about you. How does that play a part into what you do in your business? Do you find times when you just sow into certain things? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, so initially my thought process was get a client, not give away free information, right? Like Alex Hormozy, he showed that that's the wrong way to do it.
So true.
So what I do now is not just get off a call with a client or a potential client, is when you book a call with me, bro, I give you so much value. And I make it clear, whether you work with my company or don't work with my company, I'm giving you a blueprint. This is something that's for you that you can take and either do it yourself or you can have somebody else help you do it. Mm-hmm. Of course, I would love to help you, but I'm already helping you because I'm giving you everything that you need.
Yeah.
So for me personally, the way that it works in my life and just my business is I'm constantly giving first. And I show them everything that I have, and they may or may not be a good client for me. And if they're not a good fit for my company, if I don't feel I'm a good fit for them, I won't even make an offer to them. But they've already gotten something that's going to be beneficial to their life. And I do that because a couple of things is that I know that me giving that to them and helping them, A, they see the value that my company has. And then B, this is a person who now knows Josh knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And so that a person that could possibly refer someone else to me. So everything doesn't come back. The harvest doesn't always come back in a financial way. Sometimes it can be because I gave somebody some information that was able to help them change their life. And quick thing, I have a guy who I helped him get his personal credit situated, and then he ended up getting access to $20,000 credit card. Well, it helped him because he was actually trying to get custody of his daughter. And so because now he has credit that's good and he has a job that he's actually making decent money from, he's actually in a position to be able to show that, hey, I can take care of my daughter. So, and he actually won full custody of his daughter. And it's because of me being able to help him out. You know what I mean? So, and I never even charged him anything. He used to work at Walmart too. And I used to be his manager, and we just kind of kept that relationship. And he would always lean on me and ask me questions about stuff. So, I mean, I really believe that what you put out there, it returns. And they may not benefit me directly, but even if it benefits my son, I care more about it benefiting him than me anyway. So, so it works like that.
That's good, man. I'm just thinking about this Neo. I'm pretty sure y'all are probably connected. But I was just telling the lady earlier, Miss Cheryl, that I knew of him before I knew him.
Yeah.
I went and Googled him because I kept hearing his name.
Oh, really?
I was like, man, who's this Neo dude? So I went and Googled him and found out because I heard him giving so much value to so many people. Yeah. I was curious to find out who this guy was. Yeah. And just knowing that your gifts will make room for you. Absolutely. And you can just give freely because it's always going to be more you're going to get in return. And so I just know that's something I live on. I can't say enough that as often as I can trust, God can trust me with the resources because I understand that principle.
Absolutely.
It's a principle And if you use it to your benefit, it would definitely reward you in so many different ways. Not only monetarily, but it would change your life. And I think a lot of times people are depressed or going through life because sometimes they get clogged up in that area.
Absolutely. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're too worried about their own situation. And one of my mentors from a distance, Jim Ron, he always said that if you want, he said basically that if you want to be able to get a lot for yourself, then you need to be in a situation where you're giving a lot to other people. So in order to receive, you got to be able to give. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm concerned about myself, that's my first problem. I need to be concerned about you because if I can solve your problems, naturally, you're going to pay me, which will solve all my problems.
Exactly.
But people don't understand that principle. So yeah, you're right.
If you help other people get what they want, they'll always get what you need in return.
Yep,
always simple as that. And so knowing that you are now in your 12th grade year, right?
Yes, sir.
What's next?
What's next is, well, I had a plan. I remember my dad was always telling me about how to make a plan. So my plan is to get straight into the workforce. Since young, I never wanted to be in college.
Okay.
So keep working. I wanted to keep pursuing my acting career, and then learn a trade to where I can, if something happens to my acting career, I always have something to fall back on. Pursue acting, learn a trade, work. And that's my plan for right now.
Man, one of the beautiful things being here in Atlanta, it's all around you.
Yeah. Right.
I know you got connected with what's the young lady, Ernestine. And you know, it's everything's around. Yeah, it's all around you. So man, so many great opportunities. And look at my little cousin who lives down here on Rudy Kearns. I just seen how he was from a child growing up, and I'm gonna be with him tomorrow at a show that he's doing. But just to see that if you true to what you've been given as gift, if you stay true to that, and you'd be surprised. Now he didn't won Stellar Awards with Clarion Clark Share and done all kind of great things. Travel, being on different stages with Stevie Wonder to R. Kelly, you just name it. He's been in those circles, but he's been because he stayed true to the gift. If you stay true to the gift, man, it'd be surprising how far it can take you. And so, man, I just commend you on it, man, because we're going to be hearing much about you.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm excited for your future. And like I said, just keep God first and just know that you got parents got your back, man. That means a lot, man.
Yes, sir.
And so, man, if anything, you just got to share. What's been one of the gifts of being a father, man?
I heard a quote the other day, and it for me sums it up pretty good. Essentially, what the guy said was, as a parent, like my son is 18, so I need to be the father for him at 18 that I needed when I was 18. And so for me being a parent, you see these humans, you see these little humans who, they come out and they need all the support. They can't do anything for themselves. And if you don't allow them to evolve and allow them to grow, they're going to start to resent you. So one of the things that I've learned is guide my kids, but leave enough space for them to be who they are. And I can't make them be who I want them to be. I can only kind of guide them along that path. And so me seeing him, specifically him, all of my kids, but seeing them go from being completely dependent on a parent to now he's almost 18 years old and he's figuring life out for himself. To me, that's like the greatest reward is to know that I pour everything I can into my kids. And the only repayment that I'm going to get is just the knowledge of knowing that I've given them everything I possibly can. And so hopefully society is going to be a better place because of the children that I put into the world. So I feel like for me, that's one of the greatest gifts of being a parent is knowing that I've contributed good humans to this world. It's like the gift that keeps on giving, basically.
Yes. Man, that's awesome, man. I know definitely, like I say, I know you're proud. And so you got 2 other kids as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have my youngest will be 10 this year, July 31st. And my middle child, my daughter, she'll be 12. Well, she's 12 now.
Okay.
Yeah. So Andrew, Angela, and Maximus.
Okay.
Those are my 3 kids.
Well, I had 3 boys I raised, man. By the time I got to the young one, I got better.
That's how it is. It's unfortunate, but it's like the oldest, they get the worst version of their parents because people change and they evolve, you know.
It's like I learned some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I just apologize to my other boys.
That shows how big you are as a person to even be able to apologize. Because so many of us don't.
Exactly. I was a young father. I was 15 when I was born.
Yeah. So you've learned a lot.
Yes, and so I grew, and I went from being the kid in the office every 2 or 3 times a day to being that dude to the next year being on the honor roll when he was born. It just kind of it just changed a lot for me, you know. So that I can truly say that's why I feel so passionate about the young men. And now my thing is I got young men I rock with no matter what race or whatever, but I just connect with them. I want to see you do well because I know that struggle for me was real, and I know it means a lot to have a father who's in your corner. And I know there's a lot of times y'all don't agree. You know what I'm saying? Sure. But at the same time, you know you got your best interests in heart.
Right.
And so it's big, man. So, but if you can, what's something that you would like to make sure that you can share with everyone about your journey, about life, about your business that can encourage somebody? Because like you said, you had some challenges to your credit, that you use your misery to become your ministry to be able to help others. What's something that you can tell somebody who's going through a low through life?
You know, I'll say I heard it said that if you feel like you're going through hell, keep going. Why would you stop in a place where you don't want to be? The very thing that you're going through right now that you feel as though you can't see the end of the light, you can't see the end of the tunnel, that very thing, what you're going to do is you're going to go through it and you're going to grow through it. Your growth is going to be the thing that can only come through that dark place that you're in right now. But if you just keep going, and my belief is that if you seek the light, which is God, you're going to find your path through that tunnel, and then you'll be able to actually help other people that are going through it as well. But if you sit down and wallow in whatever that pity is that you have, there's no way that the people that need you, that you don't even know right now, the people that need you, they'll never be able to overcome what they're dealing with because you weren't considerate enough of others that you fought through whatever you're dealing with right now. So everything that you're going through is temporary. If it's good, it's temporary. If it's bad, it's temporary. So I would just say, keep going. Just keep going.
Great to say. And from you, if you wouldn't mind, talk to you, to the peers, or talk to those when you know, sometimes you may not agree with what your parents are doing or saying, but you know that they know that you know that they have your best interest. What would you tell to someone else that value the help that you have? And how would you inspire them to keep on going? And no matter if it's looking like it's tough times or whatever, how would you tell your peers to be able to keep going no matter what it looks like?
Well, if I say that, would be probably.
What do you tell yourself when you get in a tough time? Put other words.
All I tell myself is just to push through.
There you go.
That's it. Just to push through. Mm-hmm. Because I don't like being like stuck in the same place. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Like I like to grow. I like to become better than what I was. Like for example, when I was remember like probably a year ago now, I was super nervous, super shy to talk to people, and I just didn't like that. Okay. And so I know most people they were like that. They just make that their character. Mm-hmm. I'm just a shy person. I'm just nervous. I didn't like that. I didn't want to be a shy, nervous people. I actually wanted to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And so instead of just making that, that's my character, I just pushed through it. I deliberately went and talked to people. I deliberately went and put myself in big crowds. Mm-hmm. I read books, you know what I'm saying, to help me learn. I asked my dad, I asked my mom. I always just try to figure out how to move once again from that dark space to where I wouldn't want to be nervous. I just didn't want to be a grown man, just nervous. Like, that's not a good look if you're a grown man and you're just nervous. And so, it also like opens like a whole bunch. I mean, it also being more outgoing and being more talkative can really open a whole bunch of doors. Yeah. Believe me, if I was still nervous and shy, and I would have never went to Loney and asked him if I could have a role in the movie, I don't know the world. Would I have a role yet? So it just opens up a whole bunch of doors. So I know it's so cliche, but just push through it. Yeah. Just push through it. Just push through it. If you're in that dark space, push through it.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Man, hey, face your fears.
Yep.
My shirt say fearless. And so that's key, man. So regardless of what it feel like, man, just keep on pressing forward. If someone want to check out some of your stuff you got going on, how can they check you out? Either on social media or either in the movie. I know you got some stuff you worked on. So how can they check you out?
You guys can go on, type in comedian Loney on YouTube, and it's a series called Friendly D, and I'm in there. I'm in that series, and yeah.
Okay, there you go. Please check it out, man. And also, if someone want to reach out to you, find out more about your business, check with you on social media, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so I'm on all social media platforms as CEO Josh Earl. So that's at CEO JOSHEARL. You can also go to www.ceojoshearl.com. And I mean, yeah, just tap in. I'm easily findable. Easy to find.
No doubt. Well, hey, I can't say no better than that. These guys really showed you some things, and through their stories, I hope they can inspire and empower you to be great. If you like what you saw, check out this next episode. We got something even better. Be great.